This is the Smash Bros. Cast, Episode 4. I'm your host, N64 Josh, and we're going to just jump right into this thing. So, this episode's going to be all about Smash Bros. Brawl. Talking about the history, and then I have a few things I want to talk about as far as practicing and just trying to improve at the current games. And that's about it. So, here we go. The history of Smash Bros. Brawl. Developer was HAL Laboratories. So there's a lot of companies right here. You ready for this? HAL Laboratories, Sora, which was Sakurai's company that he started when he left HAL Laboratories in 2003, I believe. I have a lot of dates in my head, but I believe it was 2003 when he left HAL to start Sora. Game Arts, Monolith Soft, Payon, I'm not sure if I said that right, and Intelligent Systems, just to name a few. Development began in October 2005. The release date, January 31st, 2008 in Japan, March 9th, 2008 in North America, Australia, June 26th, 2008, and Europe, June 27th, 2008. Development for Brawl. In 2005, at a pre-E3 press conference, President of Nintendo, Satoru Iwata, announced that the next Smash game was already in development for the Wii. Masahiro Sakurai had left HAL back in 2003, there we go, I did get the date right, and was surprised to learn of its development because Iwata told him that he would be in charge of the next installment following Melee. Iwata invited Sakurai to his hotel room in LA and asked him to direct Brawl. According to Did You Know Gaming, which I'll include a link to the video in the show notes for that video, Iwata told Sakurai that if he didn't join the team, they would just re-release Melee with online play. That would be the only difference. They were just going to put out another version of Melee with online play. So Sakurai was on board. And Nintendo also hired an outside studio who, according to Sakurai, had played excessive amounts of Melee. Brawl's trailer was at E3 May 10th. No, that can't be right. Was at E3 in 2006. Sakurai told IGN that the motion controls would not be included in the game, mainly because they just couldn't get it working correctly. Let's see. What would be included, though, and this is what I find interesting, what would be included was the Wi-Fi connection and online functionality. That's not that interesting. Of course, we were finally getting to where they should be with getting games online, but Nintendo wanted Brawl to be the game to take the Wii online. And there's a lot of speculation that the new Smash coming to the Switch is going to be the game that Nintendo rolls out their online plan with. So, interesting that we've seen Smash do this on another console already. Sakurai and Hideo Kojima, we're talking Metal Gear, were testing online play, and Kojima said Nintendo could put it out right now and it would sell millions of copies. Sadly, that was not the case, and the game would miss its original release date of December 3rd, 2007. It just wasn't quite ready yet. Nintendo wanted to fine-tune the game a little bit more, and it just needed some time in the oven, you know? Sometimes games need that. They just need a little more time, and you could tell that the Nintendo higher-ups weren't too happy about it, but it was the way it needed to go. And it's not like we haven't seen games delayed in the past. Look at Mario 64. They had to wait to release an entire console until that game was ready. So they know about waiting. Kojima was like, "Hey, this game's ready. Let's go." He was having a blast with it, but it wasn't quite where Nintendo wanted it. Single player adventure mode. The Subspace Emissary was a step above Melee, but Sakurai wanted to make the game more accessible to everyone, so the hardcore didn't stick around and went back to Melee for high-level play. So the next thing we're going to get into is the competitive scene. And after what we learned about Melee last time, it's a bummer that Brawl went in this direction and that Nintendo didn't have a better understanding of the competitive community, because they really kind of fell short. So the competitive scene didn't last long with Brawl because of how unbalanced the game was. Meta Knight was the only viable option for most players, so that made the game pretty boring. The other thing is they even tried to ban Meta Knight in certain in tournaments, but it just nothing seemed to help, and nothing was going to really save this game in the competitive scene. Tripping was added to slow players down, so they wouldn't just randomly fall. So they would just randomly fall and be left wide open to take damage. That's no fun. When I found out about tripping, I mean, I had played this game quite a bit. I don't even know if I knew it was a thing. Maybe I just was never moving fast enough, you know? I'm just being honest here. So I had to go back and actually watch some videos and see, and yeah, sure enough, like literally players just fall over and are just left wide open to take damage. The slower speed and lack of moves from Melee, like wave dashing, L canceling, and a decent air dodge, played a part in killing the competitive scene. One of the biggest blows to playing the game competitively was the ability to act during hit stun, making combos more difficult. Sakurai even said that he basically liked Melee better than Brawl, looking back on it. And these changes, you know, they wanted to make it more appealing to a casual market, but they had kind of hit the sweet spot with Melee. Casuals could play it, but then there was the ability for this massive skill gap that allowed for professional play, and it basically was just an accident. But after knowing they made that mistake, it would have been nice if they had just kept moving forward with it. The community, though, created what was called Project M. And in my notes here, I keep wanting to call it Other M because that's a Metroid game. You know, at least it's still a Nintendo game, right? But Project M was a mod that was created to basically allow Falco to play like he did in Melee. And what happened, that mod began to evolve, and it kept evolving. And it basically turned Brawl into the game it should have been. It was like it combined Melee's gameplay with Brawl's roster. Project M received many updates. It even added Melee characters. And I think it ended up with, I believe it ended up with like 49 or 47 characters when it was all said and done. When Smash 4 was announced 6 years later, though, it was shut down, and the team that had been working on it disbanded to avoid legal complications. You have to keep in mind, this mod had made it all the way into like some major tournaments, and it was being played, you know, it was starting to gain a decent following. There is still a decent local scene, I guess, where you can go to tournaments and that, just kind of locally. You might check your own, you know, your town, see if there's anything happening there. But for the most part, this it just died, unfortunately. So now this is my first live episode, guys. I'm doing this one live on Twitch, and Nightcrawler from the chat says, didn't the mod community evolve to create Brawl Out for Switch and PC? That is very possible. I didn't know that was a thing, so I don't have anything in my notes here, but I will look into it and see. That wouldn't surprise me, the way Brawl Out plays, honestly. So that would be pretty cool. The unfortunate thing with Brawl Out is it's just not being very well received, and it seems like it's in need of some major updates continually. So as far as the character list for Brawl, we've got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Link, Zelda / Sheik, Ganondorf, Samus, Kirby, Fox, Falco, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, Captain Falcon, Ness, Ice Climbers, Marth, Mr. Game & Watch, Diddy Kong, Zero Suit Samus, Meta Knight, King Dedede, Wolf, Pokemon Trainer, Lucario, Lucas, Ike, Pit, Wario, Olimar, Rob, Snake, and Sonic. How was Brawl received? Well, Brawl became one of the fastest selling video games in Nintendo of America's history at 1.4 million units in the first week. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is the 8th best-selling game on the Wii U at 12.4 million units sold. Brawl sits at a 93 out of 100 on Metacritic. IGN gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Eurogamer, 9 out of 10. Nintendo Power, 9 out of 10. And Edge Magazine, 9 out of 10. Did I say Wii U? See, I'm doing this live. And I don't even have Wii U written in my notes. I just have Wii. So there you go. Thanks for catching that Nightcrawler. I appreciate it. So yeah, best-selling game on the Wii at 12 million units sold. So my history with Smash, or with Brawl, is probably one of the games I like the most out of the series. And it doesn't have anything to do with the way the game plays. It has to do with the time it came out. See, Brawl is one of those games that holds a special place in my heart. When it released, my boys were 7 and 5 years old, and we spent many Saturday mornings trying to unlock characters and play through the Subspace Emissary. The casual play was perfect for playing with my boys at the time. They loved to team up with me, and we had many, many epic matches. My younger son loved to play as Wolf. The older would go for Ike, and I typically played as Ganondorf. Now, before finishing up these notes and recording this episode, I went and talked to each of them and was like, hey, tell me about I want to hear your memory of when we did this. And immediately smiles were on both of their faces, and they just were like, oh, we used to take turns passing the controller back and forth and trying to unlock everything, and it was just such a great time, and we would play for hours, and you could just see the nostalgia kick in just like that. And I loved seeing that. I love seeing it. And I mean, even just if you're watching this live or watching the YouTube video, you can see the gameplay now, and just seeing the gameplay, seeing the characters on screen, for me, there is just so much nostalgia. It was one of the games that they could compete. You know, they love to team up and try to, you know, they'd both take me on, and then there would be those rare occasions where they would actually beat me, and they love that, being that young and being able to beat their dad at a game. It's good times. It's really, really good times. So Brawl for me is one of those games that I can't really look down on it because of the nostalgia factor. Really enjoyed it. DJ Hoedown is asking if Waluigi is playable. No, he was not. He was not playable. So let's talk about what we're gonna do as far as for Smash practice this week. The last few episodes, I talked a lot about just working on defensive moves. And I want you guys to know that I'm going to be putting together small tutorial videos based on this section of the show that will kind of just walk through exactly what I'm doing. So you can check those out on my YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/n64josh. And so I'm using basically this section of the show will be the script for those short videos. I will also include in the show notes to this episode any of the videos that I'm watching and things that I'm checking out. There's going to be resources on every page that you can easily find. I'm trying to just group them together so that you can find the different, you know, maybe some guides that are on the Smash boards, different posts from maybe IGN or whatever I can find. I'm just kind of scouring the web and putting everything in one place so that you guys can easily find it and be able to just step up your game. Remember, I'm a novice at this. I'm just learning, trying to get better. One of the cool things is my son has recently got the bug. Unfortunately, he broke his arm, but the fortunate thing for me is the only thing he can play is his 2DS XL. So we've spent quite a bit of time now playing Smash together, and being able to practice that way has been a ton of fun. I've also been able to get in some matches in the Discord. So if you want to find a sparring partner or somebody to practice with, n64josh.com/Discord. And come hang out, find some people to play with. There's a few of us that have really got the bug pretty bad to play Smash. So it's been fun. But as far as what I've been working on this week and what I'm going to continue working on, still working on defensive moves, of course, but movement is another thing that's very important to the current Smash, to Smash 4. So obviously, walking back and forth, you're just going to move your left and right stick, and I'm just going to kind of go through these terms and how to pull them off. So, just your normal walk, left and right on the analog stick. The lighter you press, the slower you move. Some characters are faster than others. Some characters move at a faster speed. Sonic is obviously going to be faster than Mario, just in his normal walking speed. Certain characters, if you're crouching just by holding down on the stick and then moving the stick slightly left or right, some characters are able to crawl. And then, of course, you have the dash where you just flick the stick left or right and then hold it in that direction so that you will dash. Jumping, you have a full jump by pressing the jump button. Short jump, just by flicking the jump button. Fast fall by flicking the left stick down, and you will notice a little spark of light next to your character when you've done that correctly. So be looking for that when you're practicing your fast fall to see if you're getting that little. It's just a little shiny spot that just kind of appears by their head. Double jump, of course, just double tap the jump button while in the air, and then back jump while flicking the left stick away from your opponent. So press jump and then flick that stick, the left stick, away from your opponent, and you'll do a backflip. Now, or a back jump. I've been playing as Mario, so he basically does a little, basically looks like a backflip, and maybe the same with other characters as well. Keep in mind that the main thing that I'm really trying to get down is using that short jump on a regular basis. It's not something that's easy to do right off the bat. It's one of those things that it takes some practice, because it's basically just flicking that jump button so that you only jump halfway up. Well, you can also do that with that back jump, but that back jump's a little tricky to pull off initially. So that's what I'm saying, just start with these movement things. Okay, and here's some tips just for applying these things. Jump into training and spend 30 minutes with movement, just jumping and dodging. Don't worry about attacking the bot on screen. Just focus on your movement, jumping and dodging, and just the way that you move on the screen. Combine different movements, dash towards an opponent, then dodge roll away from them. You want to keep them guessing. One of the things that I was doing was doing a back jump followed by an air dodge towards the opponent. So where they may think you're trying to make some distance, you can then immediately change direction and head right back towards them. At this point, I can't say that that's going to be a viable move, but I'm just trying to work on some ways that if it can dodge a projectile or maybe set you up for a better move. That's what I'm working on right now. It's just getting the muscle memory for moving. So set up a match with the last thing you can do is set up a match with a bot that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and don't use your attack button at all. Just focus on not getting hit by using your movement. So practicing spot dodge and I mean, with a spot dodge, you may want to attack because you're kind of set up right after that to do that. But if you're focusing on just like the dodge and the jump and getting out of the way of projectiles and putting yourself in a better place in the match to make to be able to go on the offensive, just focus on that. I've still been playing as Mario, and I've thought about switching to like Bayonetta or something because they seem like an easier character. But I'm enjoying the challenge, and I'm just going to stick with Mario. And like the matches with my son, he's been playing Link, and I don't think I've actually beat him yet. It's been tough, and he even looks he will be like, your arms are so short, like your range is so short. I'm like, I know, I get it, but that's on me to try to figure out. And and he will see me trying to do certain moves, and then he would catch on, and he would do like he would just be able to counter different things. And so one of the things when you're just trying to practice, if you're playing with a human character or with a human opponent, they may pick up on your tendencies. So it's one of those things that's like, it's just different, and it's making it pretty cool. So you can still go into the 4 glory matches. Let me know how things are going there. Nightcrawler posted that he went 6-4, I believe, in the Discord for his 10 matches. So that's pretty cool. You can let me know, guys, in the Discord. You can let me know on the comment section on YouTube if you're watching this there, or you can let me know on the comment section on the show notes page on my website. So that's gonna do it for episode 4 of the Smash Bros. Cast. Guys, if you're enjoying the music, the opening and the ending music for this podcast, the metal melee theme, you can check the full video out at n64josh.com/metalmelee. I have a couple of sponsors, audibletrial.com/SBC. You can get yourself a free audiobook of your choice, and maybe Ready Player One or Super Mario, depending on what you're into. Lots of choices there. That's audibletrial.com/SBC. The gaming chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. Go to opseat.com. Check out their selection of Master and Grandmaster Series chairs. Use coupon code N64Josh to save $10 at checkout. You will find the notes for this episode at n64josh.com/SBC4. Remember to join the community, n64josh.com/Discord. That'll take you right to the Discord. If you're not familiar with Discord, put that in. If you're on your phone, it's your invite. You're going to download the app, create a profile, and then come hang out with us, talk Nintendo games, talk Smash. We have a lot of good people in there. I'm also the host of another podcast called the Nintendo Powercast. If you want to check that out on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, and Spotify. You can also follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Snapchat, and Vero. And I love to connect with you. So if you have questions, comments, let me know. If you're enjoying the show, you're listening to it on iTunes, please give us a rating. Thank you to everybody that's already given it a 5-star review, and it showed up in the top 200 in games and hobbies on iTunes already, so I really, really appreciate that. I want to just thank everybody for listening. If you're here with me live on Twitch, thank you. DJ, Jessica, Wib, MJ, Nightcrawler, Splatmon. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. This has been episode 4, and we'll see you next week as we look at the history of Smash 4 on the Wii U and the 3DS. Later, guys.